Welcome back to the Heat Check Podcast Live. I am your co-host, Chris Patrick. With me this evening, Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman. What is up, fellas?
What's good, Chris? I like the slow-mo on the intro. It's kind of like how the Suns are doing tonight. So I feel like it's just like perfect. It fits the mood. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. I hope as the season goes on that, like the Suns, we can also pick up the pace on that. But man, we got some stuff to talk about. It's Wednesday, October 19th, 2022, here in Arizona and all over the world, of course. You are here on YouTube at Valley Sports Plug. You can find us on Facebook at Valley Sports Plug. And as you can see down there in the bottom left-hand corner at AZ_VSP on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. My goodness, I'm rocking the whole world here. But let's just I just want to just have some fun tonight, guys. Like that's what I think we're all about, Mike. That's what you were saying. And I want to get like the breaking stuff, like the breaking news stuff out of the way and kind of talk on that. So Robbie Anderson is a Cardinal now. Anyone see that coming?
Not really. I mean, I read about him getting kicked out by good old Steve Wilkes, getting kicked out of the game.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, well, we could probably use him.
Do you think they were going to cut him anyway and like we didn't have to actually give up anything for him?
Yeah, they were going to trade him, but he would hit the waiver wire though, right?
I think so. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be guaranteed that they'd get him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they gave up a 6th round pick next year and then a 7th the year after, so it's really
that's like nothing. I was wondering I didn't even see what the details of the trade were.
Yeah, because so those 6th round picks, 7th round picks, they hit all the time, right? So it's not a big deal.
Well, especially when those are Steve Keim's 6th and 7th round picks.
Yeah, no,
those are the ones that especially do good.
Yeah.
Yeah, put all the guys that are left available on a board, close your eyes and throw a dart at it. That's basically what you can get for a 6th and 7th round pick. I'm kind of surprised. Obviously Carolina is kind of sucky. But Robbie Anderson had some good years in New York with the Jets, and it seemed like he did okay and was serviceable last year. So obviously they have more problems than we do. Fortunate enough for us. So we'll take him off his hands, obviously, because of Hollywood Brown. There's been some good news and bad news, obviously. At first we were like, oh, x-rays were negative. He might miss a week or two. And then there was, oh, no, he might be shut down for the entire season. Oh, my goodness, everything was crumbling at that point. And now it looks like it's going to be a couple of weeks, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So count your lucky stars. But it sucks because we missed 6 weeks without Hollywood and DeAndre on the field together, and now we're gonna miss another 6 weeks. So it's like we can't catch a break, man. I don't know what to do at this point, man.
Tallman, you seem a little frustrated. On the recap, you were kind of at a loss for words after a certain point. How are you feeling?
Yeah, well, definitely had a lot of time to think about it.
Hollywood Brown.
About the Hollywood Brown. It's unfortunate. Like, I mean, the whole year we're like, oh, we can't wait until we can see DeAndre Hopkins and Hollywood play together. So that's kind of gone. But also, it's like, okay, well, you lose your best receiver through the first 6 games, and then now you're getting your best receiver back. So it's really not, that big of a hit. And then you're going to try to replace that void of no Brown with Robbie Anderson, which won't be the same because obviously Brown is worth every single bit of that 1st round pick. I think he exceeded expectations so far this year. So that was kind of awesome seeing him do so good. And you're like, oh, so this is going to be great. Can't wait till Hopkins gets to play with him. But then I thought about, well, whenever Kyler Murray plays with DeAndre Hopkins, because did you guys see they did like a pass chart on where all of his passes have gone so far this year? Kyler Murray's, the majority of them are on the left side of the field. Remember that when we were talking about, oh, well, all Kyler Murray does is put his eyes on DeAndre Hopkins, and doesn't go through any progressions, doesn't read anything, and just waits till Hopkins gets open and throws him the ball. And Hopkins was on the left side of the field all the time. That's exactly what they were doing with Marquise Brown. So
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, cool, we got Robbie Anderson, but well, Hopkins is back, and no one else is going to get any catches because Kyler Murray's just going to zone in on Hopkins the entire time. So it was terrible seeing him go down, especially was that a fourth down that he got hurt on? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a last ditch effort.
Yeah. So it's like really, and then you're throwing it down the field on that play too, and then he comes up and I don't know. That was just it's so Arizona Cardinals. It's like we had this beautiful thing going. We're like, cool, we're gonna get our best weapon back. Oh no, we're gonna take that away from you, right? When we're 5 days away from playing another game. So, or excuse me, less than that, 4 days. Disappointing that he got hurt, but there's good news is he's only what they said 6 weeks. He might be back, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
But for them to turn around and trade for Robbie Anderson that quick, dude, we are just. I mean, well, the positive side is we still think we're in it. Our division is doo-doo, right? Yeah, we're in last place, but everyone else is 3-3. So we still have a chance to. We're only a game behind, and there's still a lot of season left. But then the other part of me was like, wow, we're so desperate. It's like, why, we're so desperate, and we also forget about Rondale Moore. We forget about the training camp star, Greg Dortch, the Dorcher Chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about those guys? Why can't they step up? Why do we have to go around and trade away all of our draft picks for another wide receiver? Way to go, Cliff. So
yeah. No, you bring up a lot of good points, and I was looking it up while you were talking there. So the Cardinals will pay $690,000 of Robbie Anderson's contract for this season. So that's kind of a steal in that regard. However, next season we'll have to pay him $8.8 million for the last year of his contract, and then he'll become an unrestricted free agent in 2024.
Yeah, they're not going to pay him that.
For next season, they have to. He's under contract.
Yeah,
that $8.8 million.
Cut him, they're just gonna eat that. I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know how
they're
gonna
trade him again. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, because you already have DeAndre Hopkins. You have so much big money guys, so you're gonna have all these weapons. And to the point we talked about on the recap, if Kyler can't even get these receivers the ball, what's the point in having all the weapons in the world? You have Zach Ertz, you have DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore's coming into his own. Like, if you can give Kyler all the weapons in the world, but if he can't utilize them, and moreover, maybe even Cliff Kingsbury owning some of that as well, then what's the point? And so now that money that could have been spent elsewhere with needs like the offensive line, like the defensive side of the ball is good, but still needs some work here and there. I don't know. Mike, what do you think about all that?
It could be possibly that Robbie Anderson is going to fit in where AJ Green is now, as kind of somewhat of a deep threat, a guy who can go up and get the ball. But like you said, yeah, how are the contracts going to work out? How is this going to really fit long term? This is all about right now and possibly salvaging the situation that you have, especially because where everybody is sitting in the standings, like Tallman was saying, this is a desperation move, it seems like. When this came across the wire yesterday, was it yesterday or was it the day before? I can't even remember anymore. Just too many things
Monday,
flying around.
Monday, yeah, it was like right away.
But, that's right. When the first thing that I got it and I saw it, like, were you guys like hip hip hooray? Because I wasn't. I honestly could give a shit less. And it has nothing to do with how this team has performed the first 6 weeks. It has everything to do with, well, we already have so many other weapons. How are you going to get another guy involved if the scheme is weird and you're not getting guys, in really successful positions? And like, this doesn't seem like it truly is the answer. It's a plug and play for Hollywood. I totally understand that. But what's the long-term goal? This is like a one step in the direction of Cliff Kingsbury trying to save his job. It seems like.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I
he's on the
mean?
hot seat. Yeah.
So I just wonder what kind of impact he's going to be able to make tomorrow, because getting traded on a Monday, having to hop on a plane,
He's not going to
fly
play.
halfway across the country,
Yeah, he's not
try
going
and
to
look at the playbook. I wonder if they like FedExed him a copy and we're like, hey, make sure you're reading it on the plane over here and try and step within the situation and move forward. But I think it'd be dumb not to throw him out there on some, set plays where it's just easy for him to get involved and maybe get him a couple of touches. But yeah, Tallman, you're right. He's not going to play that much. He can't. That quick of a turnaround?
Yeah.
If we played on Sunday, I could see
Yeah.
it, but no, not on Thursday. He's not going to play that much.
No, he would just hurt us. But real quick, I was kind of excited when I saw it, but then I thought about it more. And then, because you guys also got to think about his blow up on the sideline. You're taking another receiver who he's not like a cancer or anything, but he's a very outspoken person, right? So he's going to come into this locker room, and we already have one of those wide receivers that does whatever he wants, practices when he wants, apparently takes whatever substances he wants. So how does he fit, with that? I don't know how he's going to fit in there, even with, what is he going to yell at Cliff Kingsbury because he's not playing every single third down, or every fourth down when Kingsbury goes for it because he likes to go for it every fucking time. So I thought about it a little bit, and then I remembered it's only a 6th and a 7th round pick. But then what do we do next year? Don't we have to pay Hollywood Brown next year? Or he's going to want a contract next year, I think, because I'm pretty sure he's still not making a lot of money. So it's going to be interesting. But last comment. The reason why I was excited about him is because he's 6'3". All of our receivers are tiny, so he adds that size aside from AJ Green. But I mean, AJ Green belongs in a retirement home. So that was the one exciting part of it was, we finally got someone that we can toss a 50-50 ball whose name is not DeAndre Hopkins. So
yeah, he's 6'3", but he's also a fucking string bean, dude. I feel like I could take his arm and just snap it in half myself. Like,
well, yeah, but you're like
we need a.
What are you talking about?
No, Chris can do it too. Come on.
No,
give yourself a little bit of credit.
No, I don't know about that. If it was Andy Isabella, yes.
Hey, I will take another guy who's a little bit younger, who might be able to get up a little bit better than AJ Greenwood for those 50-50 balls, because it's something that we absolutely don't have right now. We can't do it to Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is just like, he's so big bodied and he's getting older too. He has so many receptions in this league and has started to cement himself as one of the best tight ends ever. Well, that happens when you played for a long time. He doesn't have the lift like he used to, he's limited. He's kind of that guy that you put him on the 3 to 5 yard out, get him right there, get him in space, get him the ball, see if he can turn and get a couple of extra yards. Like, I'm not really getting him the ball in space anymore. Like when he first came to our team last year, it's just not within his skill set anymore. So if we can get some more guys in that can start to stretch the field, get them into open space and see what they can do. Like Rondale Moore started to do some of that last week. I'll take it. But there's just so many more overall problems with this unit. I don't know if a guy that literally just got kicked out from his team and traded the next day is going to be able to come in and mask anything for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a tough sell, but he seems like he was all chipper and is ready to rock, and that's great. And one thing's for sure is I love that dude's hairdo, man. That shit is crazy. What is that? I feel like I saw something on Twitter about like a character from Hey Arnold or some kind of cartoon.
Yeah.
Or was it from The Simpsons? The guy with the red hair that has like the spokes or whatever?
Crazy Bob or was Sideshow Bob?
Sideshow Bob, yeah.
Sideshow Bob. Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, that we lead the league in wide receivers with crazy hairstyles because D-Hop has some dreads, right? And then I'm pretty sure Marquise Brown usually rocks a pretty unique hairstyle. I don't know about Rondale Moore or AJ Green. They probably have a more traditional haircut. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But any case, so I hear what you guys are saying. I'm curious though, like going back a little bit to what you were saying a bit before this is about Cliff Kingsbury and the pressure that's on him to start doing better and maybe even surrender the play calling duties, hire an offensive or do they have an offensive coordinator? So he would literally have to hire
He is the offensive coordinator.
So he would literally have to hire an offensive coordinator or maybe like promote a quarterback coach or something to be the offensive coordinator. Probably. Yeah, that'd probably be the likely scenario. Someone who's already on the coaching staff would just be promoted to offensive coordinator midseason, whatever. I think he should. I think he should do it because either he needs to step down and be the offensive coordinator and say, hey, hire a new head coach, make Vance Joseph the head coach. I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to get too much. We can talk about Cliff Kingsbury a little bit more later. But when I was on Twitter today, I saw a lot of people talking about maybe Sean Payton and his name getting kicked around for a replacement for Cliff Kingsbury. What would you think about that Kyler Sean Payton pairing?
He would never do it.
That's my
reaction. Yeah, he would never do it. I think he teased it a little bit. He said if it was the right scenario, he might, think about it. But you got to think, you really want a guy that wears a full suit and tennis shoes on live TV? Like, why does he wear tennis shoes with a full suit? What the fuck's wrong with him? And he looks like he's from Louisiana. That state's fucking dirty, like his outfit. I'm just kidding. He's a great coach. I don't think he'd do it.
Tallman hates New Orleans.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be personal for me. I think it'd be great. I mean, at this point, I think anybody's better than him. Him being Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I'd love the idea of him giving up the play calling, but he's never going to do it. But I know you said we get into that later. But I don't know. Imagine if he doesn't get fired this year, Cliff, and then next year, because our defense does so good this year, what if we lose Vance Joseph and he gets offered a head coach job, and we're stuck with just Cliff? I mean, at that point, something's got to change. There's no way. I don't know. If we just totally crash and burn, which we're on the trajectory to do that, I don't know what's going to happen. But Sean Payton, yeah, I take him, but he's got to borrow a pair of my dress shoes.
Spruce it up a little bit. So I heard this on PMT the other day when they do their weekly recaps, and this one comment was, which coach would you prefer? And it's Coach A that has 26 wins, 27 losses, and 1 tie, or Coach B that has 46 wins and 50 losses. Which coach are you going with? Who are you going with?
What was the first one again?
26, 27, and 1, and then 46 and 50. Which one are you going with?
46 and 50.
Okay. Chris, which one are you going with?
What were the options again? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. 26, 27, and 1, or 46 and 50.
Okay, 46 and 50.
So you're comparing 2 people, right?
Why are you choosing 46 and 50?
Because
I'm just asking the general question.
It's close to 500. It could there's a lot you can read into it.
Okay. Tallman, is that kind of the same?
Yeah, no, it's more games coach, more experience.
More games coach, more experience, but at the end of the day, it's a 500 record, right?
Yeah.
It's a trick question. Both of those records are Cliff Kingsbury's records. The 26, 27, and 1 is Cliff Kingsbury in the NFL, and 46 and 50 was him in his time in the NCAA football at Texas Tech. He is what he is. An unproven guy that is mediocre, middle of the field, and no matter how many games you give him, he's going to be who he is. I have been so far removed about thinking about a coaching change because of all of these extensions that they gave these guys in the offseason, thinking that the only way that we're going is up. And through week 6, we have to have conversations about firing the head coach. Oh my God, dude. I don't have the brain capacity to think about that at this time. So when you ask me about Sean Payton, I can't even start to put a semblance of a thought together in regards to that. Because this team has too much talent. There are way too many weapons on this team on both sides of the ball, especially on offense. And getting back a major weapon, I know you lose a guy in Hollywood Brown. That sucks. That's crappy. But you got guys like Rondale Moore, who should be taking a step forward. You got a guy in Greg Dortch who has shown through those first 4 weeks that he was serviceable and could contribute. And the defense, these guys just keep getting better. These young guys. Zaven Collins is making an impact. Isaiah Simmons is finally figuring it out, getting on the field, contributing. Our cornerbacks are finally figuring it. I think Marco Wilson was out there making some plays last week. Damn it. I never thought I'd see it. I never thought I'd say the day. You know? So it seems like it should be such a simple fix. Yeah. And a coaching change isn't that. It's just guys got to figure it out. I feel like it's not that hard. And hopefully we can do it tomorrow, which would be a perfect way to do it, because you have all of this conversation around your team of negativity from the first 6 weeks, and you come home and you can get a win in almost close to exactly a calendar year and get back right on the right foot and get right back in the conversation to winning this division. That's what it's all about, man. We got to come out and grease these motherfuckers tomorrow, man. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
Yeah, and I think it's not on Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, well, obviously it's on Cliff Kingsbury. There's pressure on him to make the right play calls, but at the end of the day, he can call whatever play he wants. But it's the quarterback. Cutting out.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Go
for it.
So I'm trying to get my point out here. Basically, is that I saw a graphic today, basically, of the top head coaches of the past couple decades, like Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, all these guys. And when their star quarterbacks don't play, they have mediocre records similar to Cliff Kingsbury. They're about 500 without their star quarterback. So quarterback is king in this league. And it's really, I think a lot of pressure is being put on Cliff, but I think the pressure should be more on Kyler to be the leader, because you look at the great players and quarterbacks of, like, especially our childhood, like the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Bradys, the Ben Roethlisbergers. I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting some Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, all those guys. They were able to make the adjustments at the line. Do you notice Kyler Murray calling audibles or making any adjustments? Or does he just get out there, fucking get in the shotgun and call his plays? Because he can't take even a snap from under center. It doesn't seem like he can command an offense, in my opinion. And so to my point being is that, like you're right, Mike, thinking about a coaching change, putting all this pressure on Cliff, I don't necessarily think that's the point you were making, but Kyler is the problem at the end of the day. And tomorrow is a great opportunity for him to step up and prove he's worth the money, prove he is a star quarterback, and really start stepping up and living up to that hype. That's pretty much all I got to say. I mean, Tallman, who would you say has the most pressure on them going into tomorrow?
Cliff Kingsbury. Absolutely. I mean, imagine what we're all going to be looking at or feeling if we go 2-5 going in the next week. I mean, it's just going to be terrible. And the fans are already pissed. I mean, we're pissed, right? And so many people are going to be calling for his head, and he knows it, you know? So, and then the fact for him to come out and say that in that interview, like, I think that was on Doug and Wolf on 98.7, where he said, they asked him, he said, would you be open to handing over the play calling? And he said, yes. Again, just like signing Robbie Anderson, that's him desperate. If he trades off the play calls, that's him just grasping for his job again, you know, because it's also good because I mean, that took a lot of balls to say that on the radio. When I think a week ago he was on someone's podcast. I don't remember who it was. It was a big name, but they asked him if he'd ever be open to not calling plays, and he said he would retire if he didn't call the plays. He said his strong suit is working with the quarterback and calling the offense. And then this week, he just said that he'd be open to handing it over. What's his strong suit now? The guy is just a shell, just a fucking shadow on the sideline now. So I don't know. I think he's got the most pressure on him, and like I said, he knows it. And I am so curious to see what he calls those first 15, 20 plays of the game, the plays that are supposed to be scripted, right? That you practice. Actually, they didn't practice this week, I'm sure, because of the short week, but they had a game plan, right, going into it. And I'm curious how many jet sweeps we'll see, how many fucking wide receiver screens we're going to see. I hope it's zero, but it's all on him, I think. I think they're close though. I could sit here and talk for the next 5 minutes about Kyler Murray and the pressure on him, but I think it's Cliff Kingsbury. That's who I'd go with.
I like how you said he's a shell of himself. The only thing I was thinking was, yeah, I feel like he's shriveling in a shell like a scared little tortoise. Stick to your guns, man. The big thing with him is he doesn't make adjustments. Like, obviously, teams come out first 10 to 15 plays, like you're saying, and they script them because you want to see how the defense is set, where your safeties are guys out wide, what kind of pressure you're getting, and then you start to adjust from there. But we continue to run the same kind of plays. It's not fooling anybody, like we've talked about before, and he's scared to go out of his comfort zone and change things up. Like, I know Kyler Murray is a smaller guy. I'd love to run some I formations every once in a while, especially when James Conner is in there healthy. Get him a lead back, get him a full back, push some piles forward, get you 6 to 7 yards of carry, and play some dirty, nasty football instead of this flimsy hoo-ha bullshit, like Chris was saying in the recap with the pretty boy football, and start changing things up. Because what's not working right now is what you're doing. So you have to start to make a little bit of adjustments. So, hey, at least the silver lining is I think we're getting the red rocket tomorrow. I don't think Jameis is playing. And even if Jameis was playing, he hasn't played the last 3 weeks. So they're a little bit banged up as well. Chris Olave didn't play last week because of concussion protocol, but he's back in full force. He'll be out there. Promising young rookie out of Ohio State. Screw Ohio State, sorry. But, you know, it should be a fun one. But going back to what you guys were saying, if this team starts off slow and we don't score a touchdown and a field goal or get double-digit points within the first quarter, or we don't have a lead and it seems like we're comfortably pushing forward within this game, I think the fans are really going to let them know it. They're going to let Cliff Kingsbury know it and let this team know it. And they're going to drown him with booze, bro. I hope it doesn't happen, but at the same time, I'd be interested to see how that goes. Because, goodness gracious, on national television, to get drowned out in your own stadium like that, that's insult to injury, and it's the last thing that this team needs. So hopefully all those guys have that in the back of their mind, and they're ready to go tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean that's another opportunity and perspective to look at it. It is a primetime game, and these Thursday night games so far this season have been absolute dog shit. Nobody wants to watch them. They're on Amazon Prime. I mean, I know everyone has Amazon, so it's pretty much not a problem. And they're playing on. Never mind. That's a whole nother topic. But to the point of talking about the Cardinals in this game tomorrow, like it is a great opportunity in so many ways. They can bring maybe a good game, a good performance to Thursday night football. They can make a statement within the division. They can make a statement to their fans. They are a serious team, and they can break their home losing record. They've lost their last 6 games at home, or more than that. Regardless,
well, yeah, it's going back to week 7 of last year, I think.
Yeah, maybe 8 games. I don't know. We just suck at home. And so this would be a great opportunity for them to break a lot of those narratives and flip the script and maybe give themselves some momentum as they have a longer rest period to prepare for week 8. I know obviously that's no consolation to having the quick turnaround from Sunday to Thursday, but at the end of the day, these guys need to take advantage because the Saints aren't world beaters. They're pretty much on or below the same level as us. Like you said, Jameis Winston's been banged up, so whether he plays or not is kind of irrelevant. Andy Dalton is a veteran quarterback, but that doesn't get you much in this league these days. You'll have those flash in the pan performances, but it's regardless. My point being, it's a great opportunity, and if they fuck this up, then pardon my language, they're going to lose a lot of my faith. I think they're going to lose a lot of their fans' trust. I mean, I'm not going to say they're going to lose fans. Obviously, I would hope people ride with their team. Me and Mike stuck with the Suns through their dog days, and we'll talk more about the Suns and how they're looking right now. They're playing as we record this live stream. Mike, what's the score? Do you have that on you?
It's 77-70. But
okay,
going to hey. We Valley boys, man. We don't waver. We stick with our teams through the shit and through the mud.
Yep.
But Cody hit the panic button last week. If it's the same kind of performance as last week, this week, we hit the freaking fire alarms. We start sounding everything. We start getting people on the fire poles, flying down, getting to the engines. Freaking pull your coats on, get your boots ready, and because the place is on fire. That's what happens if we end up 2-5 after this game. Because the Saints are not a better football team than this team.
No.
Obviously, with the performances that we've had this the past 6 weeks, we're not the best either, but they are not better than us. We cannot have them come here on a short week and embarrass us. And embarrassing us is winning the game no matter what. I don't care if it's a last-second field goal or they win by 14, 2 touchdowns. If we lose this game, it's embarrassing. We cannot lose tomorrow.
Tallman, I want to kick this to you with a little bit of a different angle. We were talking today about some sports bets we've made recently and the MLB playoffs and betting on that. And it got me thinking about the Tallman ticket. And you're obviously, I'm sure, thinking about your week 7 Tallman ticket. And I just realized as we were talking here that you've never included a Thursday night game in your Tallman ticket. So I want to give you the opportunity. I mean, maybe not now. I think we still got maybe 45 to an hour left on this podcast tonight. But would you want to do your Tallman ticket live on the Heat Check podcast? To entertain including a Cardinals the Cardinals game in that parlay. Just a thought.
Or you could always do a specialty
special edition same game parlay Tallman ticket.
There it is, right? Because we only get a Thursday a year, so this could be the TTSGP.
All right,
you know what I'm saying?
When you guys start talking about basketball, I'll focus on that.
Yeah, perfect. Do some number crunching. Take a look at what the lines are at, what you're feeling, and then get back to us.
All right, we'll try a little same game. The first ever edition of the Tallman ticket with the same game.
First special edition Tallman ticket, and I think we'll probably.
Dude, why are you guys making me fucking lose more fucking money? I went 2 for 2.
I'll Venmo you $10. It'll be on Chris Patrick this week.
Okay. I don't do Venmo because of New Orleans, so thank them for that.
I prefer Zelle.
Me too.
Personally.
Hey,
but I was trying to be
Tallman, just think about it this way. In the future, if we get big enough, we'll have our own separate GL code for the Tallman ticket.
We'll write it up.
We'll budget it in every year. So you can just use that money and it'll be for the people, basically. But you got to start winning for the people sometime soon, man.
Oh, whatever,
You're picking too risky. I told you that Buccaneers line at -10 was too much. There's too many points.
But didn't
Tom
matter.
Brady-
They lost. They lost the fucking game.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
yeah,
I'm
they
saying.
lost. That's
Tom
right.
Brady is just—he's not looking the same right now.
Well,
The
he's
age is
going-
coming up. Father Time is
going to-
undefeated.
He's going to weddings a day before the game. What the fuck's he doing?
Well, then that should
Do you
have
see?
got you right there. You should have figured it out right there.
Well, it
You
didn't
did it
come
on
out
Saturday.
after the game.
Did you
It was
see?
the Robert
Excuses.
Kraft wedding.
Did you see Tom Brady got criticized for when Cameron Brate got injured and was like getting hauled off with a neck brace? Tom Brady was like everyone was like huddled around Cameron Brate like in the middle of the field. Tom Brady was like off to the side, staying hot, throwing footballs.
Well, he's been stinking, dude. He's got to keep his arm warm. My goodness. All right.
No, that's not-
Same game parlay. Think about
All
it.
right, we'll work on it.
Think
Yeah.
about it.
Do I get? So are we talking about the preview for tomorrow? Is that where we're at?
Yeah. I mean, we can do a broad overview. I mean, I was just looking. Looks like and that's what I was bringing up with the Tallman ticket is like the Cardinals
Oh, yeah.
are favored right now. They're a -2 on the spread. So I would honestly take -2. That's easy money for the spread bet.
Win by field goal, yeah.
I took a
Yeah,
-2
win by field goal.
last week. What happened last week?
What game was that?
The Cards Seahawks game. They were -2.5 favors as well in that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh
No, I
another.
hear you.
Oh,
But now we
Oh,
don't
I'm
have
sorry.
Matt Amendola. So
we have Rodrigo Blankenship, baby. Did
Yes,
you?
is that the guy with
I was
the?
just about to bring that up. Yeah.
He's the one that wears those.
The goggles. Yeah.
Where's the
We
field?
ready, baby. We ready.
I was surprised when Indy dropped him because he's kind of become like a known kicker. I mean, I guess his ability is one thing, and we'll see, but he can't be worse than Matt Amendola. I mean, come on,
Well, you know why a kicker gets dropped, right?
because they miss field goals.
Because they suck.
I mean,
but
kickers
you
are a
thought
dime a
he was-
dozen. Whoa, come on. So Zane Gonzalez has the most
Oh.
points in Pac-12 history. He scored the most points out of any player at any position in Pac-12 history. The best
Wasn't he a
kicker
high pick,
in Pac-12. Yeah, I don't even know, but he didn't shake out. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to say kickers are a dime a dozen, but I'm sure there's a guy who can kick 60-yard field goals working at Home Depot right now. You can find these guys. So we just gotta it can be a fucking revolving door. I don't care. Apparently this is a very explicit podcast tonight. I always love having Tallman on here because he really brings it out of me. But
I didn't
I put-
say
That's what-
anything.
Hey, on the live ones, I always put uncensored at the very beginning of the title. So people can't be
Perfect.
surprised.
Perfect.
We just can't have this one be sponsored by the Y in the future. You know, we might have to take it down, but that's all right.
Right. We never promised family-friendly content.
Exactly.
I
Stop talking about Sean Payton's outfit. Okay. So all right. So back to the spread that you're saying. So you're saying the same game should have the Cardinals by 2.5 involved in some form or fashion.
Yes. At minimum 2.5.
Okay.
I would almost, if I were you, I would almost be as frisky.
Oh, I'm frisky.
How do
Frisky
you
and
feel
risky.
about it? Go for it.
Oh,
Chris.
sorry,
Go
before
for it.
I glitch out again, I was just gonna say -5.5 on the alternate spread for the Cardinals is what I would take if I was getting risky and frisky.
Ooh, okay. That's what I'm hoping
That's
it doesn't
risky.
come down to a field goal. So hopefully we don't have to rely on the goggle guy to hit a field
We'll
goal.
win by 2 field goals. We'll win by 2 field goals.
Yeah, 2 field goals. Yeah, I like that. All right, one question for you. How do you guys feel? Because you kept talking about Andy Dalton and famous Jameis. What do you guys think about Taysom Hill scoring a touchdown?
I
Hate
don't
it.
like it. Hate it a lot.
He's going to be in the bet. I think he's going to burn us.
You're gonna. Okay.
That's
In what
about-
way? Running the football?
Yeah, but he could. Well, towards count on this. He has got to run it, but he can throw it. He can catch it.
Out
He
of
can probably kick field goals.
He probably can.
I wouldn't put it past him. All right.
like running out of the spread. I mean, like Geno Smith was only successful when he dropped back and then space opened up for him and then he took off. That was being smart. As far as Taysom Hill, all of his runs seem to be designed. So I don't know. I feel like we've been pretty good with the run this year.
Okay. Well, don't be mad when it's part of the bet.
Hey, it's your money. You do what you please.
Thanks, Michael.
All I know is I'm putting money down on D-Hop getting a touchdown tomorrow. I don't think there's any way that they don't try and force feed him the ball and get him in the end zone to start off. Because seeing him get into the end zone after numerous amount of weeks of not being in the end zone at all, that's juice in the building right away, man. They'll probably go to him early and often.
Yeah.
So that's part of my MB SGP.
Yeah.
Michael
Mike
Benjamin's
like
same game toilet.
Benjamin same.
They activate James Conner.
Oh yeah.
As
So
of today, I don't know.
That's what I was going to bring up before we started talking about Rodrigo Blankenship. This is what I'm seeing on ESPN for the injury report. Obviously, Matt Prater out, Jalen Thompson out, Dennis Gardeck, Rodney Hudson, and Justin Pugh. I think that might not even be the full injury report. Justin Pugh, Justin Gardeck, Rodney Hudson, and Jalen Thompson, Matt Prater. Daryl Williams, of course. James Conner right now is still questionable with the ribs. He didn't practice Wednesday, but is listed as questionable for the game. So he hasn't been activated yet. We'll see. Obviously, Marquise Brown out, Cody Ford, Trayvon Mullen is questionable, Antoine Wesley's out, Jonathan Ward, Nick Vigil. This is a brutal injury report, dude. Charles Washington, Joshua Miles, Tay Daly, and Marquise Haynes. Our injury reserve is deep, man. Some of the highlights just on the Saints side, so everyone knows. Hometown boy and friend Andrus Pete, Marshawn Lattimore is out. I don't know why I shouted out Andrus Pete's injury like it was a good thing. Hope Andrus.
So he's out tomorrow. He's not even.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Andrus is out. Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrus. I'm sorry, dude. I hope you heal up. I hope you get better. Marshawn Lattimore, Adam Troutman, Keith Kirkwood, and Paulson Adebo. Wow, I struggle with those Saints players' names, but so more notable players, I think, on the Cardinals side of the ball who are going to be out, and that James Conner is a question. So Eno Benjamin, is he going to have a big game tomorrow then?
Well, he didn't have one last week when it was his game to shine against the worst defense in the NFL. I don't know.
All right. Well, Cody, how about we give you some time to think about that parlay? You said you kind of wanted to maybe check out a little bit as me and Mike talk about the Suns and what's going on here. Right now, it looks like they're in the fourth quarter of their very first game of the season against the Mavericks, trailing 81-76, which did erase a 20-point deficit. It might have been even greater than 20 points at one point in time during this game. Mike, not what you want to see to start the season.
The one thing that I feel like I was sure about going into this year is we're not going to be as good as last year. Obviously, you set a franchise record last year. You won 64 games. That's hard to come by. You can't set records every year. The benches, we'll see about this bench. One thing that I was noticing is it seems like they're playing, or at parts they were playing like a 2-3 zone and switching everything. So the Mavericks were attacking that, getting Luka Doncic in the pick and roll with Christian Wood early, having Jock Landale step out and just dumping it to him 12 feet away from the basket. That's a recipe for disaster, right? A recipe for disaster. The transition defense just wasn't working that well as well. And they have shooters, so they're putting up numbers. Right now, I think Luka has 27, 9, and 5. But he does it from everywhere, man. He has that beautiful step back going to the right or left, it doesn't matter, from 3-point lane. And he can back you down and basically turn over whichever shoulder he wants and do his step ins. And he just made another 3, it looks like. Oh, no, that was Christian Wood. So now we're down by 9. But we had fight, right? Which is way different than last year. Last year, we fell over and died. This year, we came back out in the second half, had some fight, had some grit. In this game, there's still 11 minutes left, but somebody just threw up a horrible shot off the side of the basket. I think that was Mikal Bridges. One of the other things I was seeing for the Suns as far as minutes-wise, Booker, Mikal, basically are around 30 minutes. Cam Johnson is 25. DeAndre Ayton's at 18 minutes. How is DeAndre Ayton not playing 35, 38 minutes a night?
Because he had early foul trouble. That's why.
Is it?
Yeah, he's got 4 fouls now, but I don't know why he's not playing the rest of the game.
Well, thank you, Tallman. I appreciate it.
You're
He's
welcome.
in now.
I was listening to it on the radio. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. 4 personal fouls.
So let me bring my tone back down a little bit. He was making some really good plays on the defensive end going up against Christian Wood in this last couple of minutes that I was seeing. But they're starting to expand this lead, which good teams do down the stretch. Guys, I talked about how this year was going to have to be the year that Chris Paul was going to have to take a third seat. He looks like he doesn't want to be involved in the offense at all anymore. I don't know what he's doing, what the game plan is, how they're going to incorporate him. He's just kind of a wing guy to get the ball off of a curl and then swing it to the other guy and then get out of the way. And if that's going to be your starting point guard, don't pencil us in for a deep run in the West. This is game 1. I understand that. But, and you're not going to show all your cards early, but I can't have that. I need 15 a night from Chris Paul, He has 6 points tonight. 6 points in 27 minutes? That's I can't have that.
That's unacceptable. Exactly like you're saying. And it makes me, I'm glad I actually wrote this down before the show because I was thinking about it. It was the question of do the Suns' success rely too much on Chris Paul being the player we need him to be? I think we saw that a lot last season is when Chris Paul didn't show up, this team didn't show up. And maybe that's what we're seeing right now in this game, as I see we're trailing by 15 points with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And whether you're listening back to this podcast or live stream later, or you're watching right now, the fact of the matter is this is the worst fear. Be the better speaking, but now Chris Paul in his late 30s, paired with all the controversy of this offseason, are we now seeing a decline and the end of it? I wouldn't even say it was a dynasty, but maybe a championship window coming off a historic season. Mike, you are right. We can't expect to see a decline, but hopefully we don't fall off the whole entire cliff in one season. And if Paul's declining that rapidly, what do we do? I saw a couple days ago, Kemba Walker was released, and there's been a lot of talk about maybe the Suns should be interested in a Kemba Walker, but I've also heard reports that that the Suns aren't even interested in entertaining that. And Mike, I got to ask you, do you think they should be interested in entertaining a Kemba Walker?
The one thing about Kemba is he's always been a score first guy. And what do you already have in the backup position? Campaign. But Campaign kind of has to be, because watching today, and hopefully, a small sample size isn't everything that you're going to get, but it looks like Damian Lee and Josh Okogie can't shoot the ball at all from anywhere. They're scared to put it up when they get the ball with any kind of space from outside. They can't really put the ball on the ground, create any shots for themselves. Their mid-range jumper just isn't there. Like they're going to be relied on just literally for the defensive side. So you need another scoring punch off the bench. And this was one of the worries that we had when you transitioned Cam Johnson into the starting lineup as well, right? And you don't have a Jay Crowder who you can mask in the starting lineup, who can go 1 for 7 every once in a while, because you're already getting your scoring punches from Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. But now your bench is seriously lacking in any kind of firepower. And obviously this team isn't done building itself, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like we're already undersized anyway, so I don't know what Kemba is really going to do for us. He's aging. He's an older guy. Will he fit within a role where we ask him to go get 6 to 8 points off the bench, but also be a true facilitator, which Campaign is not right now and has shown last year he wasn't. He still has that score first mentality, and he's not getting guys involved properly to keep the momentum going for this team. But I mean, we had cut it to 6 points, or I think it was 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and it's 15 points already. Yep. Within 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter, because we had to give Devin Booker a break and give Cam Johnson a break. And I know basketball is a game of runs, but this is going to be a worrisome thing for this team where you take off 1 or 2 of those pieces for just a few minutes and you fall apart, where you have to be clawing back for another 6 minutes just to get even within a punching chance. And this team doesn't have that firepower to do that. So I don't know. I mean, Christian Wood's killing us. 25 points, 9 for 14 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3.
Like, I just see him pouring it in, and that's crazy to think about. Is like this is not the same Mavericks team we got eliminated by in the playoffs. Adding a whole nother dynamic, and the fact that him and Luka are all healthy coming into the season, and we're supposedly healthy and full strength going into the season, it's not a good look. It's not a good start when the expectations were high. The sports books even had the Suns winning this game. And now we're getting freaking wiped right now. And it looks like we might lose this game by double digits. It's been a problem where the bench is not deep enough. It seems like at one point in time, a couple years ago, it seemed like the Suns had the deepest bench. And that's when we were in the making deep runs in the playoffs, and we were in the finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. But now I look at this team, and the last season, you mentioned Campaign, he's taken a huge step back last season, and now maybe this season, keeping on that same pattern of inconsistency and not quite the hype. I don't know if obviously he had a chip on his shoulder coming back into the NBA after he had played overseas and being cut by the Thunder or whatever I think that was the case. Regardless, he had something. He seemed like he had something to prove. Maybe he felt like he proved and plateaued, and it might be a subconscious. It's frustrating. Like for me, we talk about a basketball outlet. Like it's a game, also like within yourself. If doing it and sharpening your skill, and maybe only playing a month, a couple times here and there, like your skills might not be so sharp. So frustrated when I don't play as well as I have in the past, or that I know I can. And I'm just trying to relay that maybe to Campaign. He had some fire, real determination, but now he's eased off of it a bit. And so it could be compounding for him. Maybe he knows that he's not playing well, so he tries even harder, but his efforts aren't focused. I don't know, but not wanting to get too much caught up on that. I also did want to touch on how you mentioned Damian Lee. Again, on Past the Outlet, I think we kind of talked about this. We have a segment on there called Reddit Reacts, and I'm very active on these subreddits, and especially with the Phoenix Suns and the Cardinals. The Cardinals don't have a very strong subreddit. The Steelers do, active on there. But back to the point, the Suns and specific NBA more broadly, there was a lot of talk about Warriors fans saying like, good riddance. I'm glad we got rid of Dame. He's kind of a black hole. He doesn't make good decisions. And so when you mentioned him there, it just reminded me of that Warriors fans on Reddit kind of being like, hey, Suns fans, good luck with him. And now we got him and Josh Okogie out there throwing up bricks, not even able to contribute off the bench. And just to bring it full circle, our bench is weak. We need a strong bench to back up an old ass Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton when he gets in foul trouble, and Devin Booker is going to need a breather every once in a while. So we have to be able to have players that we rely on. And right out the gate, all of a sudden, it seems like we don't. I see we've trimmed the lead of the Mavericks down to 7, but we'll see what happens the rest of this game. Man, I mean, besides all that, Mike, to kick it back over to you, on top of all this stuff going on, I know there's been a lot of news in the offseason, but Jay Crowder is not active right now. He's on the Suns roster, but he's not playing. They've mutually agreed that he's not going to play until they can find a trade partner. I just have to say, I'm not a fan of how he's handled this. I think if he had let them know sooner, handled this more behind the scenes without making cryptic Twitter posts, without posting pictures of him with the Suns logo blurred out. Like, it's just, Jay, you're too old for that stuff, man. Like, be a professional. Do this behind the scenes. Like, you're not increasing your trade value by going on Twitter. What'll increase your trade value is your play. So keep it in-house. Go to James Jones. He's a former player. He's a player guy. I'm sure he understands. You guys could have worked something out, but instead, now teams know that you're disgruntled. They're less inclined to give a certain return for Jay Crowder. I mean, that's my opinion. Mike, what are you making of the whole Jay Crowder saga?
It really all depends on when that first conversation was had between management and Jay Crowder about what his role on this team was going to be this year. You know, maybe they had it a couple months ago or a couple weeks prior to him starting to send out his cryptic tweets and whatnot. Maybe he took some time to stew on it and was like, do you think I could do this? Do you think I could be in this role? No, man, I'm still the dog. I'm still the boss, man. I got to be out there starting, man. Get me out of here. Like, we don't know. But the one thing we do know is this is the right decision. To have him be a part of this team with the eventual movement of him would just be a distraction for this unit. These guys got to start getting cohesive together, start, figuring out each other, what works best, what kind of roles everybody has to have. And, you add in whoever you can get from him. I am so on the train of, if you can get Jordan Clarkson to this team in return for Jay Crowder, that is one of the best possible moves that you can make. He has only gotten better in his offensive game as his career has gone on. And he's focused on being a scorer from the bench the previous couple of years in Utah and has really relished in that role. And that's exactly what we would need him to be when we come in, onto a unit like this. Like we were just saying, they had Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Josh Okogie, and Damian Lee on the floor at that point. If you could switch out Damian Lee and Josh Okogie for a Jordan Clarkson, you could spread the floor more, swing it out, get better shot attempts from outside, and really, push the pace on guys. So that's the guy I want. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Once again, it all depends on contracts. It sounds like Jay wants another extension, probably one of his last pretty decent sized extensions that he can get for the rest of his career, because after that he's going to be a role guy. I don't know, veterans minimum guy, but $2 to $3 million a year, and he's still a good player. He's a contributor, but he's at his last ditch effort to make a difference in a starting lineup. And we've talked about this before. I don't blame him, but I am exactly like you're going back to what you were saying, Chris. He could have handled this a completely different way, been a little bit more professional, but, sometimes just guys don't have those kind of personalities. So
yeah,
you just got to deal with it the best way that you can. And I think both parties have done it to the best of their ability at this point. But now it's just the distraction just needs to go away. We need to find a partner to get him out of here so we can start to bring in whoever we get earlier and start building momentum for the season. So beautiful thing right now. Looks like it's a 3-point game. So we're clawing back into this as best as we can. Looks like Booker's got 27, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton's on double-double watch, 16 points, 9 rebounds. Mikal Bridges already with the double-double, 13 and 10 rebounds. And you know him. He's going to go out there, probably play 42, 44 minutes a night. He's already at 36 minutes. He's the Iron Man. So hopefully we can keep this thing close and get some redemption for Game 7 of last year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Mikal Bridges holds it down on defense. We're going to go to Tallman for his same game parlay for the NFL, but I did in future do a little same game parlay for the Suns game, and it included Mikal Bridges scoring 2 3-point baskets. He does have 2 3-point attempts, but he's missed both of them. So Chris Patrick probably ain't winning money on that bet tonight. But Tallman, you've been kind of quiet down there. It sounds like you've been brewing up a bet. Before we talk about your special edition Tallman ticket, I just want to know if you have any thoughts or feelings or comments on the Phoenix Suns going into the season or the start of their season tonight as they trail by now 6 points to the Mavericks with 4.5 minutes left.
Let's see. Kind of really the same stuff you guys have been talking about. I mean, because I'm staring at this box score, and I mean, you look at the points they're getting from the bench. I mean, that is just scary. I don't want to sound negative. I don't. I'm sorry. I think it's going to be a struggle of a year for the team. I think even if they had what's his name, the big baby back bitch that won't play,
Jay Crowder.
Crowder. I'm sorry. Even if they had him, I don't know. I just think it's really that extreme decline by Chris Paul is very alarming. How much he's declined from the last 2 years. It's been terrible. And looking at this here, I mean, Paul is 1 for 6 from the floor, and he's played 30 minutes. So I don't know. He's got 9 assists, but I mean, what happened to that? He'd go up, go to the right, shoot a 15-foot 2-pointer, and make 9 of 10 of them. You know, when it mattered in the game. So where is that clutch aspect? Are we going to have that this year too when it matters? I don't know. I'm still excited to follow along and watch them, but I don't know. It just doesn't. It's a little more lackluster this year. Just looking at it, I know you guys are all into it. I love basketball, mostly because I like betting on basketball. But you won't see me. You won't see me. You know, getting all technical with it like you guys do.
Tom, I want you to keep going, but I just quick want to update. I know nobody's probably watching live, but just for you guys, it's 100-99. Damian Lee just hit a big 3-pointer. There's 3.5 minutes left, and the Suns are trimming this lead down. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue on with that.
Oh no, you're good. And then just I don't know. It's you kind of really want them to win this game so that they can start the season off right, and they can just leave all that offseason shit that we've been talking about for the last 2 months. You know, the Sarver, the Ayton, just stuff like that. And then I love how they don't extend Cam Johnson. I don't know if it's because of the deal, because of the team selling. And, you know, I mean, you're not going to give the dude a bunch of money when you're trying to make a bunch of money off selling the team. But who knows how that has gone on behind the scenes. But because that's going to be their second year in a row going into an offseason with the starting player being a restricted free agent, right? Because we had Ayton last year.
Yeah.
And then he's the starting player this year. So it's like we're doing the same shit again. So
no, Tallman, you bring up a good point, and like that was my first thought is like, did they extend Cam Johnson because of the turmoil with the ownership and the uncertainty around it? I mean, we can sit here and speculate, like if Robert Sarver, if none of that shit ever happened, would they have just extended him? But yeah, no, it's a great point. I'm sorry, I think you had something else to say there.
Oh no, that was it. It's 101 to 100. They took the lead.
Yeah, that is huge. I'm
So I got this.
I'm
So I got this
There,
Sandian parlay on the basketball game that we're talking about.
mhm.
I need Doncic to score 1 point, and I need Chris Paul to score 4 fucking points, and I win $560.
dude, Chris Paul isn't gonna play the rest of the game, Cody.
I know.
It looks like they're riding with campaign.
I know. That's why I'm like pissed off.
Oh
I took
no!
all he needed to
Ooh, what
do
a
was
setback.
he just
Score
needed to
10.
score 10 points. And I thought that was very doable for his bum ass, but I guess not.
Nope.
So look, guys, let's pray for overtime so that I can win some. Just kidding. Hopefully the
No,
Suns.
no, no, no.
So, Tallman, I did want to touch on something that you said,
Yeah.
which I'm totally 100% with, where you said this year seems a little bit lackluster. And I 100% agree. Obviously, with all the turmoil that has happened in this offseason, but it's also a different end to the previous season that we had, right? Going into last year, we're 2 wins away from an NBA championship. You only think that this team
Yeah.
is going to get better. You reload, the younger guys get a year older. Everybody's going to take an extra step. You bring in guys who have won championships like JaVale McGee. You know, you set a franchise record. Well, I guess that was before the season. You just had so much positive outlook. It's hard to come back to another season after you get absolutely embarrassed and set NBA worst records as your last game and the lasting memory that you have of a unit, and come back and be like, you know what? Yeah, this is our year. It's like, no, we got torched in a game 7 at home, set records in the worst possible way. I just hope this team can be in a top 4 seed when it comes to playoff time, which is an absolute thing that this unit can do. They should be able to figure it out. You know, I still have faith within this unit with Monty Williams and James Jones. Hopefully he can bring in some good pieces for this unit, but you just don't have the same love and luster as you did last year. And you can't. It's just hard. You can't be heartbroken that badly and have such a disgusting taste in your mouth and come back with the same eyes wide open mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to show it to me now. You got to show it to me. And then I'm always riding with you, but I can't be just all about it 100% of the time. You got to show it to me, especially with, you know, more and more. Chris, I remember us talking about it on Past the Outlet and some of our other stuff about how this really isn't a run it back season. This is completely different. This bench is so different. Our main contributors are different. They're the same guys, but the guys that we're relying on now are completely different. So this is a different unit. And it's going to take some time for everybody to figure things out. But, you know, we're in a good spot. We have a good roster. We're going to be okay. And we're up by 4 points. There's 38 left. So just hold on tight, get this redemption right here, and we'll go. We'll go forward. That's what it's all about.
100%. And as I'm talking about Damian Lee and his the concerns there and the concerns expressed by Warriors fans, he hits 2 huge 3-pointers to give us this lead. Now 100 to 105. Looks like there was a technical foul called, and Devin Booker made that. I'm sure it was Luka Doncic being a big old fucking bitch.
It was.
Without a doubt. That's Luka Doncic for you. And that's what I freaking love, is because me and Mike, I hate to keep shamelessly plugging Past the Out here. But last week we were talking on Reddit Reacts about how the Mavericks subreddit specifically, and Mavericks fans more broadly, really are hung up on the Suns. The Suns live rent free in Mavericks fans' heads. Like we are all they can think about. And I just the Suns really about the Mavericks. you see all these memes from that against the Suns last year. Booker is all locked in and serious, and Luka's just kind of like smiling, and it's all fun and had egg on their face, and they didn't look good through all that, and the memes are good and fun to laugh about. But honestly, like Mike and I talked about, we didn't really hang up on that series.
He didn't hang up on the series.
Yeah, we didn't hang up on. Yeah, we didn't hang up on the series. There was a few weeks of more, and we licked our wounds, and then after a couple weeks, we got over it, and we had 4 or 5 months of so much other drama with the Kevin Durant saga, with the Robert Sarver shit, with DeAndre Ayton contract. Like, the Mavericks were the last thing we were thinking about. But what did the Mavericks do? They signed Christian Wood early and then had nothing else going on. So they just about the Suns and that series and how they didn't even make it to the NBA finals, but yet they think they're hot. So I don't know how this game is going to end time we finish this broadcast, but I have to believe that it means something that the Suns fought back and made it close. The fact that we were even down in this game is definitely concerning, but it does give me hope that despite all those shortcomings and concerns that we've pointed out with the bench and with Chris Paul, that this team still has some fight in them. And at the end of the day, that's all you really want, is for your team to have some fight in them. So I don't expect us to be the number 1 seeded team in the West. The Warriors are locked and loaded and looking really good, but I expect us to be a top 4, top 5 team in the West and ride us into the playoffs.
Yeah, top of the conference, man. It has to be. This unit still has good enough pieces to be at the top of this conference. But I was over here trying to call for a jump ball. Damian Lee was trying to make a miraculous shot, and the ball was on the floor, but the Mavs got it. We're up by 3. But oh, dude, I'm overloaded, man. I know we were talking about it last week too, where I'm like, I'm so excited. This is the first time in probably forever where basketball has started like a week and a half earlier than it normally does. So we have more time to talk about football and basketball at the same time, which is my 2 favorite sports. But I'm going to spontaneously combust. I can't. Oh. I need a chill pill, man. I need a chill pill. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Which is our sponsor today. You were sponsored by.
No, but
those would be the perfect kind of like transitions into things like that, right? Preparation.
Oh yeah. Hey, if anyone wants to sponsor us, hit us up, valleysportsplug@gmail.com, or you can drop into the DMs on Instagram, Twitter, maybe TikTok. I don't know how often we're checking the TikTok DMs, but since maybe to distract from all the tension we're feeling from the Suns and the Cardinals and the pressure, I want to get to the Tallman same game parlay ticket here. I don't want to. We're not going to be streaming too much longer, but just so we also look at a bigger picture. We are Valley Sports Plug, but we do look at the whole scape out here. The MLB playoffs are happening right now, and we saw the Philadelphia Phillies take on the San Diego Padres today. That series is evened up 1-1 heading into Philly, and then also the Houston Astros taking on the New York Yankees in the AL, American League. What do you guys are you guys following the MLB playoffs so far, and what do you who do you like to win it all?
I hate to say it, but the Astros. They just took game 1.
The Astros to win?
No, I don't. But they're the better team out of the group. I want the Phillies to win.
Phillies have been kind of like, I feel like, the Cinderella story. I mean, a little bit the Padres for beating the Dodgers, which fucked up a little championship parlay Tallman and I had together.
No, what the hell?
Tallman convinced me to parlay the Los Angeles Dodgers World Series win, the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, it was only $5. The Phoenix Suns championship win, the Colorado Avalanche, NHL Stanley Cup champions, and the Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl champs. So the 4 major sports, those were the picks, and it was $5 to win like $7,000 for me, and I think for Tallman it was like 5 to win like 13K or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was like 13,000. I did it
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago, but I was gonna cash out because it gives you a cash out option. So after the Dodgers won and then the Bills won the Super Bowl, I was just gonna cash out because, you know, Suns aren't gonna win.
Yeah, and that was a sure thing, so that's why we bet on it.
Hey
Yeah.
now, you asshole.
The game's tied. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, Doncic. Yeah.
You got the and one.
Oh, dude, it would be perfect if we could find the prophecy year picture, because this is still technically the prophecy year, 2022, 2023.
2022.
Yeah,
but
because if they win, whoever wins this year
completely.
Is the winner of this year the 2022 Super Bowl champion?
Yes.
It's like the 2022 season.
Yeah, okay. Because the majority of the games are played this year.
Mm-hmm.
Or most of the regular. Okay.
Yeah. They don't list it the way that the NBA does. Like this is the 2022-2023 season. They do the 2 years combined. But
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure NFL just does straight up.
That's why I like the MLB, because it all lands within the calendar year, so they don't need to worry about that shit.
I was kind of hoping that the Padres would kind of make some noise and make a push here, just because of the NL West. That's really it. Representation for the NL West. Oh my God.
The Suns won.
Yeah.
Damian Lee just hit a stupid pushback jumper. Oh, wow. Wow.
Points, 9 rebounds.
I was on definitely 10-second delay.
I was going to say, I was like 15 seconds ago. So
I watched it at ESPN.
If it went to overtime, do you guys think Chris Paul would have started overtime?
No.
Hell no.
Dude, I think he's to be honest with you, man, I think he's on a short leash. Only allowed
to play 30 minutes.
Well, he played 30 minutes, but
yeah.
If you're not playing down the stretch, 30 minutes, what is it? I mean, you know, now I sound like Jay Crowder. You know what I mean? Call me boss man number 2, I guess.
Yo, tell me, like, these people in Vegas who set these odds are fucking geniuses. The line was -2, and it literally is minus. It's a push. It's a push.
NBA rigged.
Sorry, spread bettors. It's rigged. It's rigged. NBA rigged, NFL rigged, NHL probably rigged too. You can't bet on shit. All sports are rigged. Tallman, you got this ticket for us. You got this special Thursday night football Tallman same game ticket.
Yes. All right. So I was thinking about it, and I was gonna play it like super safe. I'm gonna do like 3 legs. Then I'm like, we're getting frisky and risky, right? And I got a no sweat same game parlay at FanDuel, so fuck it. So this is what I got. So I got the Cardinals -2.5, as we kind of discussed. I got Hopkins touchdown anytime. Taysom Hill touchdown anytime. I got Hopkins alternative yards 60, and then Ertz alternative yards 40. And that's it.
I like that. A lot. Minus Taysom Hill, and you got a winner.
Yeah, Taysom Hill's not going to score a touchdown, but I like
cancel
everything
that,
else on
redo it, and then there you go.
Oh, all right. I'll send you a text when he scores a touchdown tomorrow.
Tallman, if he scores a touchdown tomorrow, I'll buy you lunch. How about that? There's our bet. That's the MBSGP.
Are you serious? You saw what he did last week, right?
I will buy you lunch. With that being said, if he doesn't score a touchdown, you got to buy me lunch. Bam.
Okay, sure.
Lunch bet. VSP's got lunch bets now.
What kind of lunch? Are we going to like Benihanas or something?
Like a $20
Whatever you
lunch
want.
bet. Yeah, whatever you want, bud.
Oh god damn it!
Whatever you want, big boy. I'm sorry.
All right.
Damn.
It might be time to call it. I don't know.
One more
I
thing.
think,
You got to.
yeah, what you got, Tallman?
Can we talk about golf for the first time super fast?
Oh my God, yes.
Did you see what happened to the Phoenix Open?
No.
No, what happened?
So in an effort to be more like live golf, the PGA Tour picked 4 existing tournaments that they elevated, as in making the winning purse more,
Mhm.
and the Phoenix Open is one of them. So that's freaking awesome because all these tournaments that all these players could, if you win, you're going to get paid more. Everybody wants to play it. So that means the Phoenix Open is
Yep.
going to have all the top names in golf, and that's going to be awesome. So we're going to have to figure out a way how to go.
Well, so Tallman, I'm so glad you brought this up because, like, you and I, we obviously are kind of golf guys. Mike, I think you know a little bit about the golf world, but not so much of a golf guy. But regardless, I suck at golf. I mean, the game, playing it myself, but following it, of course, there's all this controversy about live golf and the PGA, and so this elevated. These elevated events is very interesting. And what I wanted to say is a big criticism of the past has been there are a lot of players that don't want to play the Phoenix Open because it's known to be kind of rowdy and a bit of a more party environment. So players don't like that loud, noisy, kind of different kind of environment. But you're saying the idea is these big purses will attract these higher profile players. Like, what do you think the balance or like dichotomy is going to be there between like players who hate this event because of the fans and also the attraction of the money?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys, Mike, you've been to the Phoenix Open before?
I have not actually.
Never?
That's
Wow,
something
okay.
I haven't
that's something
either,
I definitely gotta
surprisingly.
get up to.
I've had so many opportunities, but I've never been.
You guys have never gone? Shit,
No.
man. You guys are a bunch of
That'll
Phoenix
be
Open virgins.
that'll be a VSP live stream coming at you
It's
in
a lot of
February.
fun. So it gets a bad rep because so the 16th hole is like a party atmosphere type deal, right? Because you have the bleachers where people piss in cups and shit because they don't want to lose their seat. But what it is 90% of the time is those golfers will be on the tee box and they're like, come on, make some noise while I'm teeing off. So a lot of times they're egging it on. And then, yeah, you guys have seen all the videos, like the dude making a hole in one and they're throwing beer cans all over it. That's awesome. But like if you go, like I went one time with my dad and it was whatever, like we were walking around. I forgot who we were following around, but we're walking through the whole course. And like when you're standing on like the fucking the eighth hole, like it's super quiet. It's not like a big party thing. So it's really a lot of them don't like the last, now I think it's the last 3 holes. Because if you go, they first built the stadium around 16. Now they did the same thing on 17 and 18. It's all just skyboxes all the way down. So it's really cool. And I think it has a bad reputation because of that. And everyone just goes there. 80% of the people that go there just go there to drink, which is a lot of fun also. Um, I don't know. I think it's going to be good though, because I think PGA is kind of being like, hey, we have this awesome event that's kind of like goes against the grain of all the old PGA guys and golf's supposed to be sophisticated and blah, blah, blah. We can't have fun. And I think they did that on purpose to kind of be like, hey, look at what we have. We have the Phoenix Open. And it's kind of just like the live, because all the live tournaments, they're fucking playing music, screaming, and it's so I think they did it just because they wanted to show that hey, the PGA is not the boring old guys. We're kind of cool and hip too, like them. So we're gonna make this purse a lot higher, so everyone tunes in because they want to watch all the top names in golf play every single time they play each other. So no one tunes into those boring ones. Like normally, like the Phoenix Open, you would only get like 2 or 3 or 4 big names. Like the top 10, only like half of them would play. Not everyone would skip that tournament and take it as their off week because they want to play next week or the week after for a tournament that if they win, they can make 3 times as much money. So I think it's gonna be awesome, and it's in our backyard. So we are going this year, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely down. Like I was saying there, like we'll live stream from the PGA Tour at P. Oh fuck, what PGA? It's a TPC Scottsdale is where they have the event.
Management.
Yeah, the Waste Management. Is it still the Waste Management Open?
Yes, I don't know why you just made me second guess myself.
Still
I was
there.
like saying it. I was like, "Am I sure?"
Is it? Is it?
So it sure is.
No, but yeah, no, I think that's very interesting. I know it sounded like the PGA tried to reach out to come to some kind of agreement with Live Golf to maybe coordinate on event scheduling and things like that, and like they just weren't willing to negotiate that. So this seems like a good potential opportunity for them to garner more attention and win back some of these people. I personally like, obviously the networks here and the golf that's presented on the media is all PGA. I haven't seen any Live Golf, to be honest. Even in clips online, like I haven't seen anything other than articles about this tournament. So I just wonder what the market is like. Tallman, I guess you and maybe your golf, do you have to like have a special streaming subscription?
I'm sorry. Oh, to watch it?
Yeah, how do you watch Live Golf?
Yeah, it's on. I don't know. I don't have any of those subscriptions. I know you can get. I think it's one of the TV stations they have a deal with them, but it's not in like a prime TV slot. So they're still working on it. But if you have like YouTube TV, you can pick it up every time it's on. So it's readily available, but I think it's like cable and stuff.
Mhm.
'Cause, I mean, even at the PGA Tour events, like they make it hard as hell to watch that sometimes. Like they'll have one round, like a Saturday in tournament, the Saturday round, and they're airing it on 3 different networks. It's like, oh, you can watch the first 2 hours of this round on the Golf Channel, and then switch over to CBS for 2 hours, and then it's ridiculous. I don't know what they're doing, but they make that even hard to even watch. It's kind of like trying to watch the MLB sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have some TV deals. Sorry, I don't have that information to right off the top of my head, but it is something
No,
that's yeah.
yeah, no, you had more information than I had. I mean, I just really haven't seen any.
Yeah, I see a lot of it.
Version.
It's a lot on social media too, like Instagram. Like I see clips. Well, they're posting stuff left and right from those live tournaments on Instagram and other social media. So they're very active with it, and I don't know, it doesn't interest me that much, but
Yeah, no, that's interesting because like I'm not on Instagram, and like so the social medias I am on, like Twitter and TikTok and or on Facebook rather, like I don't really see too much of the Live Golf stuff, and maybe I know there's a lot of algorithm stuff that factors into that, but it's interesting, like the different experience, like where you have seen a lot of that, and I haven't really seen any Live Golf. But I ultimately, back to the whole point, like I think it's awesome that they have the increased purses for the Phoenix Open, and that event is going to be now have more of the high profile golfers at it, and that's even better for the Valley. Like we're already under the microscope with a top 10 basketball team, with probably a top 5 basketball team, especially in the Western Conference. The Cardinals with high expectations. I don't have absolutely any expectations for the Coyotes, nor do I really care. But I will say they did beat my Pittsburgh Penguins the other day. That was kind of impressive. So, or no, I'm sorry, they didn't beat the Penguins. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. But either way, that is impressive because the Maple Leafs are a good team. But regardless, in any case, We're about at the 1.5 hour mark. I think this is where we kind of try and hit for our Heat Check podcast live streams. And I just wanted to let VSP Tallman or Michael Benjamin have the floor one last time if you guys have anything else to say.
No, hey, Suns, opening season win, great comeback. Cardinals, let's get it done tomorrow. We'll be out at TPC. When is it, Tallman?
It's
February.
the same weekend of the Super Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl.
So the Super Bowl's
We'll be out
here.
there.
So that's gonna be nuts, man.
Oh, double whammy. It's happened before. It happened
Yeah.
before, obviously. Yeah.
So the 4th round of the Phoenix Open will be on Super Bowl Sunday. So that'd be cool.
Dope.
I got one last comment before we go. Go Cardinals. If one thing that's funny, I was looking at the ticket prices. Dude, you can get a ticket in the upper level for like $20 for tomorrow's game. So I don't know if it's because they suck so bad and nobody wants to go, but I mean, they
It's
better
because it's
start
tough to get out there during the week.
that too. Yeah, you got to leave at like
Traffic.
2:00, 1:00.
Yeah, you gotta take the
Yep.
afternoon off work, half day.
Hey, exactly. For the sake of them making more money off those ticket sales, they better win a home game or no one's going to want to go. So hopefully they understand that, because man, I was looking at game tickets for like the first couple weeks and they were all, you couldn't touch them for like under $100. So I was kind of shocked when I saw that. So primetime game too, but let's go Cardinals.
Let's go Cardinals indeed. Let's see if we can get back to 500. Let's see if we can get DeAndre Hopkins and Taysom Hill in the end zone so Tallman can finally win a Tallman ticket. Check us out on the Tallman ticket on AZ_VSP on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Valley Sports Plug here on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Chris Patrick for Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman. We will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Peace.